Yeah, so till yesterday we discussed the calculate function, right? Now, today I'll talk about few more functions, which is um all function, which is used in majorly used inside calculate, and there's a few functions which is sumx, like which we call as iterator function. So that I'll be discussing. And I think these two will take most of the time. Uh, if time permits, we will discuss time intelligence function, or we will have like one more session to finish this off. Okay. So let me quickly talk about all function. Uh, so do we have here? Okay. So this is all function. The uh, function is ALL all. What does it do is it returns all rows in a table or values in a column. So even if we have applied any of the filters, what it does is it will not look into the filters, it will return all rows in a table. And this all function returns a single value. Okay. So I will, and then the syntax is all, and then table or column name, and column name one, column, like all the optional functions. So I will actually do it here and show you how it works. So I'll go into the sales. Okay. And I will create a new measure. So let's mention this as ALL all orders. So yesterday we discussed calculate function, right? So I will show you that once. Uh, Give me 1 second. I'll be back. Yeah. So yesterday we discussed this calculate function. So what was the syntax in calculate function? If you see, or I can show it to you here only. Like if I write calculate function, what it have is it asks for an expression and then the filter. So basis on what do you want to calculate this expression, right? So yesterday we did a lot of things like bulk orders, right? So what we created was calculate total orders if the order quantity, or basis on filtering the wherever the order quantity is greater than 1, give me those, count only those total number of orders, which we call as bulk orders. So in all orders, what happen, in this measure that we are creating, wherever I'm writing all orders, what I want to do is uh, I want to calculate total orders, but instead of applying that filter context, I will write all function over here. So what it does is all removes all the filter context. So when you need unfiltered data, so what I need is I want to calculate the entire row. right? The entire row in a particular table, which should not change basis on the any filter context, right? So what happens in count rows that we have, any particular function that we use, let's say distinct count or count, right? So distinct count will also give you the count of the rows, right? But it will react basis on the filters that is there. So if we pull category name, it will, the count rows will count only for these categories. Like for accessories, what is the distinct count? For bikes, what is the distinct count of order number? Like what is the total orders? But what is the difference between this count and this all function? So all does not react with the change in the filter. So if I put all anywhere inside the calculate, what it will do, it will give me the same number everywhere, right? So let I will do that, and then we can discuss more so that you understand it properly. So I'm calculating total orders, and what I want to do, I want to calculate total orders wherein uh, even if we change filters, the number should not change. I want the denominator to remain same, because what I want to do is, let's say if I want to calculate percentage of all orders, which the formula for which the formula should be total orders in any category or any filters, like what is the total orders divided by all orders, right? So let's say I put all over here, and inside all, what all things we can put? We have table name or column name, right? So I can put table name. So I want to put AW sales. I want to look into sales table, right? So, and I will hit enter. So what it will return me is, let me have it here. Category name, total orders, weekend. I'll remove bulk orders, like returns, total returns. For now, I will pull weekend orders and all orders. Yeah. So what it is giving me, let's say you want to calculate a particular, let's say you want to calculate percentage of all orders. So the formula for percentage of all orders means under category, under each of these category, what percentage of orders were placed, right? So what will be the formula for that? The formula for that would be total orders divided by all orders, because I know denominator will remain same in any of these categories, right? Because to calculate percentage, what we do percentage of that particular uh, category or that particular level divided by total amount, total orders. In this case, since it's orders, total orders, right? So that's why we wanted a total number to get repeated in each of these rows. And all is a function which, even though we have applied filter, it will uh, not react to these filter context, right? So that's how, like, the formula that we have written under like this measure that we have created, we have written calculate total orders, wherein we have written all AW sales. That means give me the total orders without uh, affecting that number with any of the filters, right? So all AW sales means give me, look into the entire table and give me total orders. And since we have used all, that means it will not change to any of the basis on any of the filters. It will give me the total number of orders, which is 25164. You can see that total orders is 25164. So that order will repeat everywhere, right? So this is one of the measure that we have created. And then I want to create one measure which is percentage of all orders. So percentage of all orders would be, I will write here, percentage of all orders would be total orders divided by all orders. This. So if I pull it here, what I will get? I got 6755. Let me format this to current percentage. So what it is showing me is, out of all the orders that was there, 67% of orders came from accessories. 55% of orders are from bike, 27% is from clothing. So this information is giving me, like, this is the absolute number and this is the percentage, like out of total how much percentage belongs to which particular category, right? So even if I remove this all orders, this formula will work. So now we have quantity sold, we have total orders, we have weekend orders, we have percentage of total orders, right? So any doubt like how we have created this? Any question, anyone? Like how the all function is working, or how this percentage of total orders is getting calculated? Any question?
Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh my God.
Any question, anyone? Hanan, you dropped off in the middle of my explanation, I think. Did you understood?
No, I actually didn't hear anything. I've just joined because I was having issues with the link.
Oh, okay, okay. So
Yeah.
basically, I'll quickly explain. So today I am discussing about the function called all. Okay, this is one function which is called all. So yesterday we looked into this, right? We have calculate function wherein we put the expression and then the second part is filter. So basis on that, like we are saying calculate total orders based on this thing. Like if yesterday we calculated the bulk orders, right? So we told like calculate total orders wherever the order quantity is greater than one. So to take those rows and then calculate the total number of orders, right? So there is one function which is called all function. uh, what does it do is it will look into the entire table. So here, let's say I have put sales table, right? AW sales. So it will look into the entire table and it will uh, calculate the total number of orders. The best thing over here is, even though the filter is changing, these total orders won't change. So wherever we use all function, and usually it is used inside some other function, because this all function creates a separate table. So it creates a separate table. So what it will do, all function, it will look into the entire AW sales table and it will calculate total orders. So that total order, I will pull here and show you. So, so that total order is 25,164, but this is repeating. Why? Because as I mentioned that all orders will, since we have used the all function, that will not be affected by any of the filter, right? So this all function is very important wherever we want to calculate, let's say, percentage, right? So I have calculated here percentage of total orders. So what will be the formula of percentage of total orders? Total orders divided by all orders. So in denominator, we want the total number of count in any of the table, and in numerator we want total orders, let's say by category. I have category over here. So what will happen for total, for accessories, it will do total orders under this accessories category divided by total number of orders that is available, right? So this total number of orders should not change in any of the rows, so that we can calculate this percentage, which we have in the last column, percentage of total orders. So which means 67% of orders came from accessories category. Similarly, 55% for bikes and 27% for clothing. So that's where this all function comes in handy, wherein we want to have like the total number of count which is not affected by any of the filters that is here, because we want the same denominator. So in that case we use the all function. That is one of the case wherein you will calculate the total orders which should not be affected by any of the filter context that is there, right? So this is the syntax that we have. Under calculate, we have used another function which is all. And the syntax of all is it takes table. Inside, inside all, you have to mention the table name. So we want to look into sales table. So that's why I have put AW sales. So any question?
I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
So what's the difference between the total orders and then the all orders? Like if instead of just doing all orders, why can't we just use um the total orders that we
Yeah,
have?
exactly. So total orders, if I go into total orders, we have distinct count of order numbers, right? So total orders is affected by each of these filter context. You see, if
Um,
I pull total orders, its accessories is 16983, bike is 13929, all these things. But I want a column or a measure, you can say, not column, a measure in which we have like the total number of rows in that table that should be constant, like that should not be affected by any of the filters, right?
and that would
Because
be the only reason why you would go with um the all orders as opposed to the total orders,
correct,
because you want a column that is not affected by any of the filter context.
correct.
Okay.
Okay, so this is one of the example. What about city and Akalilu? Any questions you guys have?
No question for me.
Okay,
Lucky them. I have so many questions. I'm sorry, guys. I have more questions than I have answers.
yeah, so please go on asking.
No, I'm saying I'm constantly asking. I feel like
Okay, you
I
are Hanan. I'm sorry. I thought City has a lot of questions, but she's not asking. So that's why. Uh,
City.
looks like she's not able to hear us. Or
I think she dropped out, right?
yeah, she dropped off. Hmm. Okay.
Sorry. I'm sorry.
So the second measure using all function, I'll create another product lookup. So let's say I want to create a measure wherein I want to calculate product price across entire table, average product price across entire table,
Mhm.
right? So I think she joined. what I'll do, I will write a measure overall average price. I will write calculate. Yeah, City, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. I was asking one thing, but my internet wasn't working. That's why.
Okay. So, were you able to hear me?
Yes, now I can hear you.
Earlier, you were not able to hear me?
No, that's why just keep
Okay,
talking
no
about it.
problem. I was talking about the all function. I'm actually demonstrating one more measure to wherein I will use like all function. So I will explain you how it works, right? And you can go through the video. So
Okay, I just have one question. I just got confused between the total order and the all. Is it the same thing or
yeah, so the same question actually Hanan asked. So what happens is in total orders, what we have done is total orders we have used count function, right? So if I show you here under sales table, let me. So under total orders, what we have used is we have used distinct count function, right? So and when we pulled total orders in this visualization, you can see matrix. This is affected by the filters. So if I have accessories category, the total orders is 16983. If I have bikes category, it's 13929. But in all orders, if you see, the numbers are not changing. Why? Because we have used all function under all orders, and all functions does not react by the change in any of the filter context. Hence, the you can see total orders is 25164. So that total orders, which is 25164, is repeating in each of these cells, even though we have different categories, because we want to look into the like entire orders, like total orders, which should not react with the change in any filter. Why we are doing this, why we have calculated this? Because we wanted to have a number in denominator to calculate like percentage of total orders. So if I want to calculate, wherever you want to calculate percentage, what do you have, what do you want? In numerator you want for that particular category what is the total order, and in denominator you will look into like the total orders that happened, right? So this total order should repeat in each of these case, because the denominator won't change in any of these case. And for that reason I have used all function in this all orders calculation, which does not react with change in any of the filter context. So that is the difference between total orders and all orders. In total orders, we have used distinct count function, which recalculate itself basis on the filter context. But in all orders, it will not recalculate even if the filter context is changing, because we have used all function over here.
okay? So if it is a total order, so it calculates for each. So if
Each
it's
categories.
each category, yes.
Yeah. So
If
if
it's
you see
all,
the total orders for this category is 16983, but all orders is 25164. So what does it mean? In under total orders, it's counting only those rows wherever category is accessories. But in all orders, it's not looking into any of these categories. It is simply giving me the total orders that were placed, which is 25164.
okay. I don't know. Thank you. I was got confused about that.
Yeah. Is
Yeah.
it clear now?
I have a question once you guys are done on that same concept,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah. Go ahead.
so I wondered what happens, or what would happen if we used under total orders is equal
Mhm.
to, and then we do all orders instead of the distinct count here. what sort of output would it give us?
You want to use all orders. All orders means no, I didn't get, like, let me create
So,
one new
like,
measure.
so we're writing a measure, and in this measure, maybe we can do one if you want, or we can just change. I mean, I guess I can
1 minute, I will quickly write one, let's say total orders 1.
is equal to,
Yeah, now tell me.
and then do all orders.
All function or all orders that we have created
All
measure.
orders. We're just using a new measure. We're creating a new measure, and we're just saying instead of using the distinct count, we're just going to use all orders.
All orders, the measure that we have already created, or all function you want to use? No.
The function all orders. No?
The, okay, the
The
function is all,
functional,
not
yeah.
all orders. Function is all.
Oh. So then, yeah, let's do. How would we do it then? I don't know what I was thinking. Total
So
orders.
function is all, and then under all, you see you have to mention table name or column name, right? So
Okay, then
let's say
order.
you,
Total orders. So what would we put on this in this case here? I guess order total.
Makes sense.
not order total, AW sales, because I want to put
Right.
table name or column name. So I will put table name, let's say. Total table. AW sales is the table. So I
Okay.
can insert the table name inside this, right?
And then in another parenthesis, you would put the column name, and that's where you would put the total orders. Is that what that is?
That is optional. So it will return all rows in a table or the values in a column. So why it has given column name 1, column name 2. So you could mention like multiple columns over here.
Okay.
Even though you don't mention, it will work,
Okay.
right?
So what if we just do the all AW cells and then close the parentheses and run that and see what happens?
Yeah, so what it will give me, if you see, the expression refers to multiple columns. Multiple columns cannot be converted to a scalar value. So as I mentioned, this all function usually works inside another function. So
Oh,
it
okay.
it this all function will return a single, like, does not return a single value. Sorry, I think I told return a single value earlier. It does not return a single value, it will return a table or a subset of table. So what it will give me, it will give me a subset of table, and hence it is used as a component of other function. Mostly it will used inside some other function like calculate. So inside calculate we will use all function. So what it will give me, this all function will give you subset of a table, and then for that particular table it will calculate, like calculate function will calculate the different measure or expression that we will have there, right? So we can't directly use all like this.
What if we then you can cancel or like delete or back out the closed end parentheses in the back?
Sorry, I didn't get.
Like AWS cells, and then you know how you close the parentheses?
Mm-hmm.
If you can just take that one out, and then I guess how do you write the syntax? I guess AWS and then doing a comma and then mentioning a table, I mean a column name to see like a ordered total. Is that what we have here? Order total? Do we have a column name that's called order? You'd have to scroll down so I could see on here. AW cells. That's the table name, right? Because you have to mention the
We
table and
have
then the
order
column.
quantity, we have order name, number, all these are the columns.
Or total orders? No, we don't have that.
Total, so we have to mention column name, which is physically present in the table. Total orders is a measure that we have created. We can't refer to that in here.
Oh, we already mentioned it, so no. Um, total orders and then all orders.
Yeah, so total orders is a measure that we have created using the function count, distinct
Right,
count.
right. Forgive me. I didn't realize that we've already mentioned it as a measure. I'm just thinking of the columns that we have since I can't see them. I was just thinking um what
Mhm.
So what column name can we use? I guess, let me take a look. I'm sorry. And I guess it would be
You can put any of the column. Let me actually put
order totals.
something
Do we have
else.
order totals then?
Let me actually
AWL?
order quantity we have order quantity. If I pull this
Yeah.
and close the bracket, what it will give me? Okay. Total orders 1, right? It will
Mhm.
have the same value repeating.
I see.
Mm.
What happened? Okay, understood. It will have the same value repeating, but we can't put it here. Why? Because this all function has given a, so this is a, the output of this is not a value. Okay, this output is a table or subset of table. So we can't directly pull that in this
I see.
visualization. So we need to use total orders 1 inside some other function. Like we have calculated it here, uh, all orders. So maybe instead of writing all AW sales or something like that, here in we can write total orders 1, the measure that you have created using all function. And then it will have like the same value repeating.
The exact same values.
Yeah, let me actually do that. Let me have total orders 1 in here and hit enter. A function placeholder has been used in true or false expression that is used as a table filtered expression. This is not allowed. Okay. Mm-mm. 1 minute. Total orders 1 we have put, right? So total orders 1, the measure we have created, and we have written all and AW. Okay, let me do one thing. If I write all and we put order quantity over there, right? Let me actually take AW sales order quantity and do this. Okay. So this one is returning me like this, all orders is by the categories. This is actually not giving me. Why? Because we are not looking at the entire table over here. We are looking only at one of the columns, right? So that's why it is giving me like it is actually changing with each of these categories. If I want to look at the entire table, because what might happen is in one of the column, let me actually look into this order quantity. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. So here what we can have is we can have total number of, like we can have table or we can have column, right? So if we put table over here under all, it will look into the entire table and it will have like for the entire table, let's say this is the table. So for each of the rows, it will have how many total number of rows do we have, right? So it will look into each of the column and it will see like for the entire table we have like 25164 total number of rows, right? Like the all orders is 25164. it will look into the entire table. But here in what it is doing is it is looking into only the order quantity column. And hence that this particular thing is not working as per expected, right? It is actually getting changed with the category name. But I'm actually wondering it should not happen, right? Um, okay, I'll look into it like what exactly is happening here, because what all returns is a subset of a table, right? So ideally, uh, we should have like the same number over here, but that is not
But I
happening.
thought the syntax was supposed to be the other way around, though. All orders equals to calculate whatever syntax you want to use, and then the table name, and then column name. Because the way right now the way we have it is the column name, comma, and then there is the table,
That is
right?
optional. I can
Oh,
have like the both thing over here. That should not be an issue. Let's say I put this,
but
right?
the syntax that it shows you when you start to write it,
Multiple table arguments are not allowed in the all
right?
or this thing, right? So uh, how the syntax works is you have, uh, let's say, so what it is telling me is you put returns all rows in a table or all the values in a column, ignoring any filters that might have been applied, right? So what it is telling me is either write table name or column name, right? And these column name one, column name two, all
Oh,
are
it says
optionals.
or. Oh, okay. I didn't see the
Yeah,
word or between the tables.
yeah. So it wants like one argument that could be either table name or column name, right?
Okay.
And it will return all rows in a table or all the values in a column. Yeah, so what is
Okay.
happening if I am putting the table name, it is returning me all the rows in a table. So in a table, we have 25164 rows. So that's what is repeating everywhere. But here under like if I'm putting column name, so I put order quantity over there, right? All, and then AW sales order quantity we selected. So in that case, what it is doing, it is calculating all the values in that column, right? But I'm just wondering why it is not giving me same result over here. Like if I have AW sales and then let's say something order number. Hmm. So on the column name, that thing doesn't work. Okay. So the filter thing that I'm saying, right? Ignoring any filters that might have been applied. So if I put table name, it will not look into any of the filters, right? So let's say I put AW sales. So what happens is AW sales, it will look into the entire table and it will give you the total orders, right? So those,
Mhm.
and ignoring any of the filters. So those values will repeat, right? But instead of the table name, if I put, let's say any of the column name, let's say order number or order quantity. So in that case, what will happen? It will look into that column and return the values. So it will be same as total orders, because in this case it is not ignoring the filter, right? So in the case wherein you want to have like the same number total rows of a particular table in a visualization wherein you don't want it to get changed by any of the filter context, then use the table name over here under all function.
Hmm.
Is it clear?
Just
So
can you just repeat that
that's
concept?
Yeah, so what I'm saying is if you want the total orders to get repeated, like whatever the total number of rows in a table, to have it in the visualization, which you can use in another calculation, right? Which you can use in another calculation, and that total orders should repeat in each of those rows. That means it is not getting affected by any filter context. So in that case, under all, use the table name. Instead of using the column name, use table name, because in table name it doesn't look into the filter context. But when we use the column name, it is actually looking into that values, and it is getting affected by all these categories, right? So instead of using the column name, use table name. There are two options under all. Either we can use table name or we can use column name. So use table name wherever you want to have the total number repeating, and you don't want to get that affected by any of the filter context. Is it clear?
Yeah,
So
it is to me now.
yeah, so that's why I've used AW sales. So it's, if you see, it is not getting affected by any of the filters,
Uh-huh.
and it is getting repeated, right? So I will actually discuss one more example of this all function, so it will be more clearer to you. So let me actually create one measure under average AW product lookup. So what I want to do here is I want to calculate an average product price across the entire table. So if I go here under AW product lookup, you have something called price, product price, right? So you have product price, different product price everywhere. So I want to calculate average product price for this uh, uh, for this table. So now we already have average product price, right? But I don't want that to be changed basis on any of the filters. I want average product price everywhere to be same, right? So in that case, what I will do, I will create a overall average price measure. Under calculate, I will write average retail price. So we already have created average retail price using average function, right? I will use this, and under all, what I will do, I will put this table name. So which table is this? This is product lookup table, right? So I have taken product lookup table, and yeah, so since we don't want this overall average price to change in reaction to the filter context, we want the same number to be returned. So in that case, we have to use all function. So if you see here, we have 714.44 repeating everywhere. If we would have used average retail price, that is here, let me actually pull average retail price also. So that will change basis on the category, because we have used here average function. So what it does, it recalculates looking into each of these filter context. But for overall average price, it is not changing, because what we have done is we have given a or we have written a measure wherein we want to calculate average retail price looking at the entire table. And since we have used this all function on this entire table, that value is not getting affected by the change in any of the filters. Okay, I will just format this to dollars. Okay, so this is how the all function works. Is it little bit clear now?
Yes. Question. So whenever we we mention the column, so it gives us the total price, the total order.
Mm-hmm.
So if only mention that table name, it
Mm-hmm.
will give us the all number, all order.
Correct. Correct. Correct.
Okay. Okay, one more question. So
Yeah.
the all function, we cannot use it on the first. We have to be in the middle of some expression
Yes.
and
So
total expression.
correct. So it depends. Like you can wherein you want to have this under calculate function. The syntax is the argument is in such a way that we need to write expression first and then the filter or anything uh, other later on, right? So that's why we have expression first and all function or this filter in the second argument. So we can't in at least with the calculate function we can't use this all in first place and average retail price in second place. So for any of the measure that we calculate, there is a fixed syntax that we need to follow. So there is fixed argument that is there in the order we need to mention.
So
So
in
in
what
calculate,
scenario?
Mhm.
Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
So I'm saying in calculate function, you have to write all in the second place, like after the expression basically.
Okay, so in what scenario can you use the all in the first place?
So it
Or
depend on like which kind of function you are using now. Right now, I'm not sure like any function wherein you have to use all at the first place. I'm just thinking 1 minute. Uh, you can use all function under sum x, but in that case, in sum x, like the function iterator function that I'll talk about, in that case, you can actually directly use all function and inside sum x, you can start with, you can have like syntax like this. Let me actually create a measure and show you. Uh, sorry, anything like test measure. So sum x, and under this you have to mention table, right? So you can, how you can mention table, either you can directly mention any of the table that we have, or we can create a separate table using all function, right? So what I will write here is I will write all and some table AW sales, and then I will write any of the expression, whatever I want to sum, do the sum x or do any other expression. So in this case, if you see under sum x, the formula is in such a way that table is first and expression is second. So in this case, you will have all function first and then expression second. So it depends on the way the syntax is available over here, right?
okay.
And we haven't covered sum x yet, right?
No, we
Yes.
will be covering it now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Is it clear, City?
Yes, thank you. Yeah.
No problem. Okay, so we will have something called filter function. So let me actually have one measure under here. So there is one function which is called filter function, right? So what does it do? This filter function is a iterator function. It will look into each row and let me actually create and then talk about it. So under filter function, under this, let me create something called high ticket orders. This is product. No, no, not here. Let me do it in sales table. Okay. So Let me create high ticket orders. Okay. So what I will do is I will write calculate and then I will write total orders and then I will use a function called filter function. There is a function called filter function. Okay. And under filter function, we can have two values, table and filter expression. Right? This is little complex, but slowly you will understand. So what I want to do, I want to calculate total orders by applying few filters, right? So what I want to see, first I will write and then you guys can ask me a question. So want to do product price. First, I want to have product lookup table name, right? So I put the table, comma, and then it want me to write filter expression. So I will put product price greater than overall average price. Okay, right? Okay. So just now we have created overall average price using all function, right? So which is 714. In any of the case, we have 714, right? So what it wants me to do, this measure, it will calculate total orders wherever the product price is greater than average price, overall average price. So in any of the row, this filter function, how it works is it will work row by row. So it will go into the first row of the data set. It will look into product price. It will look into overall average price. And then if that is true, then it will keep that particular order. That means it will be counted. If the product price is not greater than overall average price, it will remove that row. Like that row will not be counted in this calculation, right? So that's how like the filter function, this filter function is a iterator function. Why I'm calling iterator function? Because it iterates row by row. So if any row filter expression is true, that row is preserved. And if that row is not, the filter expression is not true. By filter expression, I mean here in this case, we have applied the expression as if the product price is greater than overall average price, right? So if that is true, then keep that row. If that is not true, then chop off, like remove that row, right? So filter is an iterator. It produces a new table. So what happens? First of all, this expression will work, and then it will give me one table in which we will have only those rows wherein these conditions have been met. Wherever the product price is greater than average price, it will keep that row, and at the end, only those rows will be available wherein we have this expression as true, right? And then looking at that table, it will calculate the total orders. And again, since filter also gives me a subset of or a table or a subset of a original table, it is also used inside some other function such as calculate, sumx, or like that kind of thing, right? So this filter function you can't use separately, as we used all function inside this function, another function, like it's nested in some another function. Similarly, like filter is also a function which you have to use inside some other existing function. Okay, so if I actually hit enter, what we will get? Let me pull high ticket order over here. So what it is, let me actually make this small, or I'll remove this. I don't need this now. So what I'm getting under high ticket orders for bikes, it's 11312. So what it has calculated, it has looked into all the rows of that product lookup table. Wherever the product price is greater than overall average price, it kept that row. And for that particular row, whatever the total, like those rows, whatever the total number of orders is there, it is giving me that result. Excuse me. So we
So
have
where's
this
the high ticket
total
orders column? Or do I not see it?
here. I put second
Okay.
column.
Yeah, I see it.
Anna?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, I think there was internet connection issue.
Okay.
Yeah. So
It's
is this
not.
clear? This high ticket order measure? So this looks like little complex. So slowly and gradually we are moving towards like little complex DAX measure.
Yeah.
Because we had already used average and sum, and all those are like very simple DAX that we had discussed earlier. So these are little bit advanced and little bit complex, right? So because we are using one function inside other function, but this will at least give you like idea how we use. These are important functions and can be used uh, in multiple ways and in multiple dashboards, right? We usually use it. So that's why I was discussing. So is it clear, or like any doubts you guys have?
So for me, when I think like I don't understand why we would even need to like whenever you're getting you're asking for overall average price,
Mm-hmm,
my thinking is that for accessories it should give you its own average or overall average price. And then the
mm-hmm.
same thing with bikes. It shouldn't we I don't think we should get the same output for everything. So I'm not sure why we would even need to use a table name in this calculus because I don't think you would ever need to do this.
So we have used that in calculating high ticket orders, right? Okay. So in high ticket
Yeah, do you
orders
get the
under
point I was trying to make? Like, I was just thinking, I said it, we're looking at these categories here, and then we have accessories, we have bikes, clothing. So when you ask for an average price or overall average price,
Mhm.
we're talking. I mean, for me, I guess the kind of report that I would create would just show overall price for each category, not the same thing, the same overall average price across all the categories
No,
on
if
here.
somebody, let's say if somebody wants to understand under this product lookup, what is the overall average price? How will you calculate that?
But isn't that per category though?
Which one?
No.
No, I
So when
want
somebody
somebody
asks,
wants to, let's say somebody wants, no, let's say somebody wants like in this entire table, what is the average product price? They don't want across category or across any of the levels. They want like total like overall average product price. What is it?
it's
How?
different for each category because I mean, like we were discussing yesterday. For bikes, is the average price is going to be a little higher than for clothing, right? Because you
At
may be able to
let's
buy.
say if I remove this category, right? Why are you looking at category only? If I remove this category, what is the overall average price? What is the average retail price? What, these two are same. What does it mean? That for
And
the
with this,
entire table, yeah.
Yeah, and
Go
with
on.
this, what I understand is that there's only one category. So we're dealing with, I don't know, let's just say shoes or yeah, accessories.
No, this is not only one category. This has all the categories. If we don't have anything over here, that means we have not applied any filter. It will look into all the rows, even though it falls under bikes categories or clothing categories or accessories categories. That is, we are not affected by any of these because we have not put anything over here. It will look into the entire table and then it will calculate.
Yeah, I just didn't understand how you could get the average overall average price for clothing the same as bikes or something a little bit more expensive. So it makes sense for bikes, but when you're thinking about getting clothing or accessories or something like very much lower in pricing.
Overall average price means the average price in the entire table. Overall average price, the way we have defined overall average price in this calculation is we want to look into the entire table without any filter context, and we want to see what is the average price of the entire table. And hence that is repeating even though we have category as accessories or uh, any other categories, right? So overall average price for that particular thing, if you want to look into average price for each category, we have separate measure, which is average retail price. So if I pull back category, the the meaning of both the measures are different. Don't uh, understand this overall average price as by category. The way we have defined it, that defines how we have written this. If you are not comfortable, we can change the name, but the way we have defined, what we are trying to define is average retail price is a measure which will give you the average price for each of these categories, since we have used average function over there, right? And hence that average price is changing based on the categories that we have. But overall average price is defined or is calculated, the measure is calculated in such a way that we want to calculate or we want to look at average price of the entire table, barring like ignoring any filter context. And hence the for the entire table average price is 714.44, and that's why it's repeating. Why we wanted to calculate this? This is just for the demonstration purpose, but we have used this overall average price in one of the calculation just now we created, which is high ticket order. So in the case wherein you want to actually, let's say, uh, you want to uh, compare the average price of a product with the overall average price. Let's say I'm here. I want to see whether this product is, let's say, something called universal fit, or let me take some uh, let me go back and see. Okay, the first product is helmet. Okay, I want to see whether this helmet has product price as 33.64. I want to see whether this helmet, the price of this helmet is greater than overall average price that we have in our data set, or it is lesser. How we will calculate? We will compare this product price with the overall average price, and the overall average price I know is 714.44. So in that case, we will compare, okay, 33.64, which means the price of this helmet is lower than the overall average price, right? And that's how we have calculated high ticket order, wherein we are looking for each of the rows whether that product price is greater than overall average price or not. If this particular row is not having price greater than overall average price, we will check this off, like we will not keep that in calculation. We will look into another row 297, all these things wherever. So these all won't be available in that particular calculation. Like in this, in the high ticket order, we will not keep those, right? Because we have put the condition that look into the product price of each of the product and keep only those wherein the product price is greater than overall average price. So like 1191, this one is greater than overall average price because overall average price is 714. Like if we don't apply any of the category, if we look into the entire table and see what is the average price, we see that it's 714. So in that case, this product has price greater than 714. So then this row will be considered in this high ticket order calculation. And this filter function will give me a table in which there will be only those rows wherein you have product price greater than overall average price. And then these total orders will be calculated. That means how many rows are there in that table, the new filtered table. So do you understand the difference between average retail price and overall average price? This overall average price is not across category. The meaning of overall average price measure is if we don't look at any of the category or any filter, what is the average price in the database, in the table that we have?
And that's where my confusion, or I don't know, how can you set $714.44 as an average price for everything in there? It
Let
doesn't.
me actually go to transform data. To the sales table. Here, let me go to transform statistics. Let me go to average price, not sales, sorry. We were in product lookup, product price. Here we have average, right? How much did we get average price for that particular column?
714.43.
714.43. What did I do just now? I I just wanted to show you that for the entire, what did I do? I selected this product price and I showed you like what is the average price for this particular column. What does it mean? Like it took the entire rows that is there in this table product lookup and it gave me the average price for these, for the entire rows, right? So we saw that for the entire rows, the average price is 714.43 or 44, you can say, rounding off, right? So this is the number we have calculated using the measure function, right? And hence how the 744 714.44, you saw that if we don't have any filter anything, if we just look at that column and calculate the average price for the entire rows, then we will get value as 714.44, right?
Mm.
So that is what we are getting over here. And that is not changing because we have used all function and that ignores any of the filters that is there. It will just give me the same average price everywhere. Okay.
Organic,
I think,
thank you.
yeah, I think once you guys practice it, it will be more clearer and then you will start understanding more. But you can go through the video and then come again with the questions like you guys have. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So looks like we are over time. We have two things to cover, iterator function and time intelligence function. uh, even though I cover iterator function today, the time intelligence won't be able to cover. So I'll cover those two functions tomorrow, and then I think all the measures will be done. Okay. And
Okay.
then we will, from the day after tomorrow, we will start the visualization.
Quick question.
Yeah, go on.
I think yesterday you told us you can ensure for calculate X and
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
So that's
some
what
X,
I'm saying, that
calculate X.
since we are over time, I won't be able to cover everything. So I'll be talking about calculate function and not calculate, like iterator function. It includes sum x, calculate x, everything. So I'll demonstrate sum x, how it works, and time intelligence function tomorrow. So there are two things pending that I will talk about tomorrow. And day after tomorrow, I'll talk about, like, we will start discussing the visualization. So one more class will be needed for this measure calculation, like describing the measure different functions. So I'll talk about that tomorrow, basically, answer of your question.
okay.
Yeah. Okay, guys. If no more questions, then we can wrap today's session. Any
Okay,
more
thank you.
questions? Okay, so we can connect tomorrow, and I'll ask Ravi regarding that video access, and I'll share the link today, definitely.
Okay, thank you. Good night,
Okay,
everyone.
thank you. Yeah,
Thank
bye-bye.
you.